Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, welcome to this episode of Loving Life. We're kind of going back into the archives again. We're going to be talking about beer and breweries. And I'm actually going to start off with going back to Bull City Brewery and Burgers. Wow, the food there is absolutely fabulous. My friend Seth is there. So stay tuned because we're going to go check out Bull City. So here we are. We're right in the brewery where the brew is made.
Yes.
Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, beer is not that good for you. Listen, if you're drinking soda drinks, those are not good for you. Beer is really a fairly natural drink.
Very natural. There's only 4 ingredients, no preservatives at all. Water, hops, barley, yeast. That's it. Beer has vitamins and protein in it, but you just have to drink a lot to get your RDA.
To get what you need. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So take me from step 1 to where there's nothing to where we have beer.
All right. So all of our barley is stored in the back of the restaurant. We have our mill back there. We crack the barley open. It comes across the ceiling here in a conveyor, and it drops down into this tank. And what we're doing is we're adding hot water and barley, and we're creating a mash. We collect all the liquid from that, which is sweet from all the sugar. It goes into the kettle, we boil it with hops, cool it down, put the yeast in, the yeast eat the sugar. 2 weeks later, we've got an ale ready to drink.
Wow.
It's delicious.
And then it goes, so that's in here 2 weeks?
No, this is the brewing house. It takes 6 hours.
Okay.
Then from here, it goes into these fermenters. And in these fermenters, 6 weeks later for a lager, 2 weeks for an ale. You can hear a bubbling bucket right now.
Yeah.
That is carbon dioxide coming off the yeast eating the sugar right now. That's fermentation.
Right behind us.
Yeah. All these tanks are full of beer right now.
So let's see what this looks like when it
Let's
comes
taste some
out.
beer. Absolutely. One of the things that makes a brew pub so great is that everything is fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, you're drinking the beer right from where it's brewed. So it's like bread. You go to the bakery because the bread coming out of the ovens is the freshest you can get. This is essentially bread. You take the hops out, you've got flour, water, yeast.
That's
you're
true.
making bread. Would you hold that, sir?
Liquid bread.
All right, let's taste some beer. This is a lager called a Märzen. Märzen is a German lager, a lot like an Oktoberfest. If you'll hold that one, I'm gonna give you this one because that first one's gonna have a little extra yeast in it, just clearing the valve there.
Really?
All right, so we'll give it a second to settle. You can see it. So this is unfiltered, right off the tank. This is a delicious lager. Essentially, this is Oktoberfest beer. When you brew this beer in the fall, you call it an Oktoberfest. Because it's so good, you want to brew it twice a year. When you brew it in the spring, you call it a Märzen. It's a little secret in the German brewing world, yeah. So, Prost. Crisp, clean,
Man, that is
malty.
good.
Thank you.
Really good.
I'm glad you like it.
I don't like beer.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wow.
All right. You get your yeast that way. All these people who go and buy, dried yeast and mix it in their yogurt and everything. I say just drink a beer with breakfast.
Make your yogurt with beer.
There you go.
Wow, isn't that amazing? Who'd have thought that beer could actually be better for you than sodas? Less sugar. If you be careful with the alcohol, it's all done in moderation. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back.
Just because you're in an accident but didn't ride in one of these doesn't mean that you didn't get injured.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and after 35 years in practice, I can tell you a lot of times an injury doesn't show up for 2 to 3 days after an accident. So if you've been in an accident, don't delay any further. Call my office today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Uptone Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications. With spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
been in an accident and I don't have insurance. I don't know what to do.
I was in an accident, and I don't have insurance. Now what am I gonna do?
Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir, and if you've been in an accident, but you don't have health insurance, it's okay. We accept third-party liens. That means we'll wait for the insurance company to pay us. So if you've been in an accident, call us today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of Loving Life. We're talking about beer and breweries, and this time we're going back to White Street Brewery in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and talking to our buddy Dino there, talking about all the different flavors that you can experience. How would the world did this come about?
So it's a good question, and it's a good story because, you know, whenever someone hears that you own a brewery, you know, why did you do a brewery? And they think, you know, did you always love beer? Is this your hobby? Did your dad drown in a vat of beer? You know, was this your lifelong dream? And sadly, none of that is true for us. This was a little bit of a different thing. This whole vision, what we saw here, was a result of just wanting to do something fun, to do something different, do something neat. You mentioned the downtown Wake Forest here. We always thought downtown Wake Forest was a great little place, kind of a little secret, a little gem.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do something that we thought would be fun. And at first we thought of a restaurant, but anybody I've ever known that's owned a restaurant said, do not do that. So we started thinking about, well, what else would be a fun gathering spot? Where would people like to come hang out, meet with their friends? And we decided to do a brewery. And you can see we kind of did it a little different, Tim. We're not a brew pub, so there's no kitchen.
Right.
But we have the factory right here in the tap room, and you're standing or leaning on the only dividing wall that there is. There's no glass, this is the production facility, and then of course over here is the tap room where folks can enjoy each other's company. And that was it, and we just set about to make a neat, fun thing.
Wow.
So let me show you right here. I'm gonna show you a little bit about what this looks like. So this would be some of the grain, Tim, and you can kind of see, reach down in here, and
Well, look at that, yeah.
it just looks like grass seed.
Exactly.
And inside of here, where it starts is, the first thing we need to do is crush that up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's when we crush it up, that happens in a room in the back, the grain room, and you can see that white pipe. The process
Yep.
for us starts right in there. It all gets dumped in this hopper.
Okay.
And come on in here and follow me and I'll show you. So the first step would be, after the grain is crushed, it's gonna dump into here. This is called the mash tun. We're gonna drop the grain into here, and we're gonna mix it with hot water that we make in that tank right there.
Okay.
And it's gonna sit in there. And that hot water is gonna start to pull out some sugar. It's gonna pull some sugar out of the grain, and that's really what we're after. After it soaks for a bit, we're gonna take this sugar water, the wort as it's called, and we're gonna move it over here to this kettle.
Okay.
Once it moves over there, that's where we're gonna boil it. We're gonna take that wort and we're gonna boil it down. We're gonna kill anything that might be in it. We're gonna add some hops, and then that's where the magic is gonna start to happen with the wort. By the way, when this is done, when this grain is done, this is it. This is a batch that we've just completed. This is called spent grain. And you can see how it has been crushed up and soaked with water. And then, so we've rinsed all the sugars out of these. Now, while all the sugar is gone, there's a lot of proteins left in this. There's a lot of bulk, and it's very moist. This goes right back into a local farmer. He uses this as feed for his cattle. A lot of breweries do that, so it's a kind of a green way to dispose of this kind of waste. A lot of people ask, well, do the cows get drunk? No, at this point, we have not made any alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just sugar water.
They are happy cows.
They are happy cows, that's right. These are some of the different hops that we use, and I just wanted to kind of give you a look at what a hop is. Hops on the vine look like little bitty, yes, it looks like that, like a rabbit. A hop on the vine, a natural hop, looks like a little bitty pine cone. But we need to be a little more consistent than that. This bag is sealed up. Let me get another one. I'll show you what they look like when we get them. They look like rabbit food, little pellets, and if you go ahead and smell that. Very strong, very pungent, and each of these different hops, all these are different flavors, and you can see them all spread around here. They're all in these boxes. Each one has a different flavor and a different thing that it will do to the beer, different elements. And so it's really kind of fun. It's a lot like cooking, more ingredients to play with.
So that's the different flavors of beer come from the different grains, the different hops, and all of it put together.
That's exactly correct. And the hops also add the bitterness of beer. Without the hops, the beer would be way too sweet to drink. It would be terrible without it. So the hops add the bitterness and a lot of the flavoring. That's exactly right.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
We're going to try a little bit?
Absolutely. Let's go do that. Nearly as sweet. So that's our German Kolsch. Now both of these have almost no hops. As we move over to here, this is going to be where you start getting that hop. Those hops we're looking at in the cooler, and I was mentioning bitterness. This is called an IPA. This is our Hoptimist IPA. That's our brand name for our IPA. And an IPA stands for an India Pale Ale. And a little story behind this, if you'll let me indulge your viewers. The India Pale Ale came about because back when the British had all their colonies, and of course they had massive armies and soldiers, and one of the ways that they kept everyone happy and going was beer. They would provide beer. And the beer, though, to get from the UK all the way over to India, it was a very long trip, and beer does not last very long. It's a spoilable food. The British learned that if you really put a lot of hops into the beer, it gets very, very bitter, but it preserves it.
Wow.
So the India Pale Ale, or the IPA, was the beer that was sent to India, but it means overly hopped. So we today, when we call something an IPA, we're not exporting to India yet, but maybe one day, but it just means very hoppy. And you'll see when you taste this beer, very bitter, lot of aroma.
Yeah.
And
you can smell it,
You can
too.
smell it, which is similar to the smell that you smelled in the cooler with that. And then, of course, when people say a dark beer, they're really referring to something like this usually. This is our winter seasonal, so we're almost done with it right now. This is our Foreign Extra Stout. And it's a very heavy, malty beer, very good for the winter, kind of fills you up, makes you feel warm. They can be enjoyed all year round, but a lot of people traditionally associate stouts and porters and the heavier style beers with the winter. But just to round out your palate, if you want to taste that one, you can really taste the roast and the barley on that one. And all of our beers, we pride ourselves here at White Street, they're exceptionally clear. And that happens, you take your time with the beer, let it settle out, and they'll turn clear.
Hey, can you imagine having a project that you're doing just because it's fun? Wow, what an amazing story. He's done some amazing things in Wake Forest. You need to check that place out. Don't change the channel because we got a whole lot more coming your way.
Just because you're in an accident but didn't ride in one of these doesn't mean that you didn't get injured.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and after 35 years in practice, I can tell you a lot of times an injury doesn't show up for 2 to 3 days after an accident. So if you've been in an accident, don't delay any further. Call my office today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications. With spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir from the Loving Life TV show. One of my family's favorite places to eat is Milton's Pizza. If you like good pizza, I'm telling you, they serve the best pizza around. Their salad bar, second to none. Our family is gluten-free, and we can eat there quite easily. You're gonna love Milton's. Take the time to go there and tell them Dr. Tim sent you.
We are Milton's Pizza, and you are watching Loving Life.
I've been in an accident and I don't have insurance. I don't know what to do.
I was in an accident, and I don't have insurance. Now what am I gonna do?
Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir, and if you've been in an accident, but you don't have health insurance, it's okay. We accept third-party liens. That means we'll wait for the insurance company to pay us. So if you've been in an accident, call us today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Hey, welcome back. We're talking about beer and breweries. Some great times we had with some great people here in Raleigh. John Federal from Raleigh Brewing, just amazing what they can do, and he's going to talk to us about all the things. And then Jennifer Martin, going to be talking about something coming up the end of April called Brewgaloo. So you take ingredients. What's the main ingredients for just a regular beer?
There's 4. There's water, there's yeast, there's hops, and there's malt or barley.
Okay. Now, how about, is there wheat involved?
Well, that's considered one of the malts.
Okay.
So you have barley, you have wheat, you have oats, rye, corn, rice.
Wow.
A lot of different kinds. And then,
Yeah.
of course, you can get into gluten-free ingredients, amaranth,
You guys
spelt.
do that?
We don't do any gluten-free beers here.
Okay.
Really, in the Triangle, there's not a giant market for
Sure.
it, and it would be hard to justify such a large-scale
I
production on it.
understand.
But we have a small system, a little pilot system. It makes about 10 gallons that we've done a couple of gluten-free recipes on.
So what's behind us here?
Well, this is our 20-barrel system right here. Okay, so that big tank over there is where we keep all of our water, and
Okay.
we can heat it up there. This is our mash tun, and actually we're brewing today, so in a minute that hatch is going to open, and then all of our spent grains will come out, and we actually send those to the Interfaith Food Shuttle for composting for growing food and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then that's our boil kettle, which if you can kind of see the steam from here, there is about 700 gallons of our Moravian Rhapsody Pilsner in there right now. So we'll boil that for an hour, add hops at different times to get aroma, flavor, and bitterness. And then we'll actually send that beer through that small heat exchanger right over there, where we pump cold water through, okay? So cold water comes in, the hot wort, which is beer before it's beer, goes this way. The wort comes out cold, the cold water comes out hot, and we return it back to the hot liquor tank for use for cleaning. And then that will actually run through this hose right here, right into that fermenter right there. And then we put yeast in there, and then alcohol is made, and good times are had.
So it starts here, then it goes there?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Wow.
So through all of these pipes and pumps underneath and valves and everything like that, we can control where we send the wort. So before we do that, we have to clear it, make sure there's no proteins or hot particles, or grain particles or anything like that. So that's called recirculation or vorlaufing. And so that pops up through the top, and that's what that arm is for. So we're able to kind of recirculate it to the point where it comes out clear. Once it does that, we can redirect it into the boil kettle.
So where did the first beer come? Who made
Who made the first beer? Well, technically it happened on accident. So in what is believed to have happened is in Mesopotamia, someone was walking and saw some barley in a container which it had probably recently rained, so it had gotten wet. And then through natural fermentation, which yeast in the air kind of fell on it, fermented that soup that was in there, and they maybe smelled funny or something like that, and said, "Oh, what happened if I drink it?" And they drank it, and that's pretty much when the first beer was created. Now, if your question is related to when was the first time that beer making was documented, we're looking into the 1300s, early 1300s, is when that happened.
Was it the Germans? Or
it was that general area.
Really?
A lot of monasteries.
They got hooked on it.
They got hooked on it. Well, what you'll find is most of the time those texts are from monasteries because they were learned people and they were making beer for sustenance, and they would keep track of what they were doing. Most other beer makers, farm hands and things like that, they didn't keep records.
Sure.
They were either illiterate or they just didn't feel like they ever needed to.
That was good. I wish I could have made it again. But.
Right. They kind of made beer with whatever the heck they could get their hands on most of the time. So that's kind of a short answer as to kind of when it first happened, and then where we see emerging practices.
Yeah.
I mean, there's documentation or archaeology that has happened that has made suggestions that it's happened much before then.
Like in the Garden of Eden.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
They probably ate fermented apples or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And that's where kind of things.
That's where things went kind of weird.
So it goes from here, goes into the fermenting tank.
Yes, sir.
And how long does that take?
Well, it depends on how much sugar is in there. So like our Hell Yes Man Belgian Golden Strong is a very high alcohol beer. There's a lot of sugar before we put yeast in it. So it takes a lot longer period of time for the yeast to consume all of that sugar down to a point where we want to serve it.
Interesting.
Because if your beer's too sweet, it's not very drinkable.
Sure.
If it's too dry for the style, it's not going to drink correctly. So like our Scotch Ale our blatherskite Scotch ale, that needs to have a nice sweetness to it. So we don't ferment that guys quite as low as like our Belgian Golden Strong, which we want dry and drinkable. So that's probably our longest fermentation. It is our most popular beer, so it is quite a crunch for production sometimes.
Wow.
And then our bitter, which is in this tank currently right now, and actually you can kind of see fermentation happening here. So alcohol is being made in this bucket. You see all the bubbles coming out?
Yeah.
That's CO2. So
Wow.
when yeast consumes sugar, it produces ethanol and CO2, and that's where the CO2 goes.
That is
But
neat.
the bitter only takes about 4 to 5 days. There's not a lot of sugar in there.
Really?
It's a very quick fermentation. Beer finishes, the yeast settles out, and then it's done, ready to
That's
carbonate and serve.
Isn't that cool? Well, I think the next step would be, can we go out into the tap room and maybe just try a little?
Sample some? Absolutely. I love sharing our products.
Okay.
And I figured you might be a coffee man. You drink coffee at
Yeah.
all? This is our porter, but we put coffee in this particular version.
Really?
Yes, sir. And it's a local coffee done by Oak City Roasters. And anytime we buy this particular coffee that they have, which is called Kaboom, it goes to source clean water to a Ugandan village where it comes from. So we felt like that was pretty important for us to do. Clean water makes good beer, you know.
Okay, so this is the one that has coffee.
It's called Hidden Pipe Porter, and that particular one is one we make with coffee. So we make it 2 ways, with and without coffee.
That's strong.
It's got a lot of flavor, a lot of chocolate, mocha, and then of course followed up by the big coffee note.
And I always see people.
Smelling it, yeah, the real connoisseurs, or beer geeks, as we lovingly call
Okay.
ourselves.
So that's real. That's a strong.
It's about 6.5%.
And that's a whole lot lighter.
A lot lighter. It's about 5.4%, and it's just a different style altogether.
Yeah.
Caramelly, got a little bit of toasted bread underneath. Not very bitter at all.
You got this down, don't you?
I've been doing it for a while.
So listen, you can come down here and actually taste this right here, or you can go to the Brewgaloo.
It's Brewgaloo. Brewgaloo is our craft beer festival. There's only NC beer on tap. There's food trucks, there's live music, there's vendors. It's just a full-on street festival that lasts for 8 hours from 2 to 10, and it's just a huge celebration of local.
So there are all kinds of vendors other than brew.
There are. There's ones that highlight maybe their local T-shirts they printed. You know, there's ones that do local art. There's folks that do crafts with the kids. So that's a really great event to get people out.
So although we say it's a brewery thing, it really is a family thing, though.
We say it's a brewery thing, but we see a lot of strollers there.
Sure.
So I think it's a great way for parents to come out on a gorgeous Saturday in April, come out to the street, kind of walk around and enjoy, but then they can also bring their kids along with them in a non-discriminatory environment.
So the aficionados of brewery, of beer, can come and just try all the different North Carolina beers.
They can, and that's what we try to encourage. We really try to encourage people that, you know, if you always say that maybe you don't like beer, or oh, I'm not gonna like that, I don't like craft beer, this is that chance for you to try that. You know, we want to encourage you to actually try something new. That's why we allow people to have a pint glass or a taster where they can go around and actually sample things and find something, because you might just find something you didn't know you liked.
Hey, you know me, I love local businesses. I love local people who put things together. That's what we've been talking about this whole show. Brewgaloo's a fun place to take the whole family. It's not just beer, but there are other things that you can have there as well. Don't change the channel, we'll be right back.
Just because you're in an accident but didn't ride in one of these doesn't mean that you didn't get injured.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and after 35 years in practice, I can tell you, a lot of times, an injury doesn't show up for 2 to 3 days after an accident. So if you've been in an accident, don't delay any further. Call my office today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications. With spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
been in an accident and I don't have insurance. I don't know what to do.
I was in an accident, and I don't have insurance. Now what am I gonna do?
Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir, and if you've been in an accident, but you don't have health insurance, it's okay. We accept third-party liens. That means we'll wait for the insurance company to pay us. So if you've been in an accident, call us today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Hey, remember, it's all about loving life, doing what you love and loving what you do. I love talking to the people that we've talked to because that's exactly what they're doing. They found a fun thing that they love and they based everything on that. Oh, what an incredible thing. Hey, don't forget to check out Brewgaloo this weekend. Great time for the family, April 21st and 22nd. Take the whole family, lots of food, fun. It's just a great time. Listen, join me on Facebook. Go to Facebook, Loving Life with Dr. Weir. Go to my website, which is drtimweir.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all those fancy hootootsy things that you just get on nowadays. It's all about doing all the things that bring you closer to your community. I love people who have their own businesses. Listen, if you're watching me have a business and you want to promote it, give me a call. Actually, go to the website, fill out the thing that says contact. I'll get a hold of you and we'll figure out how we can get you on the show. Until next week, keep loving life. You out there in television land, boys and girls, grab your Bob Ross painting kit. I'm going to be back with my good buddy. Come by my office on Falls. I forgot where I work. Hey, I hope you're owning all kinds of stocks and bonds, and hope you're enjoying life. An older guy that's overweight.
Where is he coming in next?
Yeah, he's coming in next.
Do I get to do any beatboxing?
You do in your life that you, crap, never mind. We gotta wait for Mike. Gotta wait for Mike. Let me ask you, can you see my eye booger? Okay. Hey, welcome back to Loving Life. We're talking about breweries and